through. I don't know. I think it's very hard to do that. Maybe gold would have to buy time to make it possible. But anything apart from getting the camel into the position seems to me like it will just end up losing out to superior numbers in the end. What's your take on all this, Patrick?
I'm sorry, what was your question exactly? I was looking at the chat room.
Oh no, go ahead. What are they saying in the chat room?
Excuse me.
No problem. I don't know. Fritz, what would you say about this position? Do you think that gold has much of a chance here?
I think that Silver's move was very accurate. The suggestions of bringing the silver elephant into the fight around f3 were misguided, because the silver elephant wants to be fighting those gold heavy pieces, the gold camel, or the gold pieces that remain in the west. And the silver small pieces are adequate to defend f3. So I don't know about the goal. I'm not quite sure how strong Silver's goal threats are, how much of a threat he has to break through the goal immediately. But perceiving this as a control position, not as a race to goal position, but as keeping control of the f3 trap. Silver doesn't want his elephant bogged down keeping control of f3. He wants to control it with small pieces. So bringing the dog into the equation was brilliant, and Silver would also like to bring a second rabbit into the equation. Silver really wants a rabbit on the g3 square. And so 19G is just inviting Silver to do what he would like to do, I believe, by bringing another rabbit forward to h5, and then the camel to h4, the rabbit to h4, unfreezing the camel, getting it down to g3. That basically forces gold to take the camel hostage, and then the gold dog can protect the f4 square, and then I mean, you might feel happy as Silver, oh yeah, I've gotten a camel hostage, so now I have the strongest free piece. My camel is the strongest free piece because I've got a camel hostage. Well, it isn't. The gold camel wouldn't be the strongest free piece. Actually, the silver elephant would be the strongest free piece, because Silver would have enough small pieces forward in the attack. And in fact, sorry, I'm quite surprised. Maybe 19S, maybe the goal attack is stronger than I thought. So Silver can afford to operate without using another rabbit.
Well,
we'll have to see.
Nothing is keeping him. Nothing is keeping him from advancing that rabbit next move.
Well, no, because I was looking at some of those suggestions in the chat room about freezing that silver horse by dragging it westward with the elephant. I don't know, if you were gold in 19G, what would you have done, Patrick?
G. What did? It's a little old. Let me watch back.
Yeah, you're right. That was a position where some had been suggesting perhaps the gold elephant would step down and then up, pulling the silver horse west and then moving his own rabbit forward on f2. But of course, now the position's moved forward in 20G. Now the silver horse is frozen,
yes,
as we were saying, and even threatened with capture. Sorry, go on, Patrick.
It's rather hard to discuss than a possibility of a position that happened 2 moves ago and watch the game unfolding.
You're quite right, Patrick. So as gold, what make of 20G? Or Fritz, what do you make of 20G? Is that a good move?
Oh, 20G looked forced. It seemed like the only thing that gold could play, and I think, fortunately for gold, it was also strong, in addition to being forced, because it stopped the threat to goal, and threatened the silver horse. The gold camel wants to come across to attack the silver horse. If the gold camel had managed to complete the crossing, we see silver on 20S tried to cut off the gold camel with the silver elephant. Well, if the gold camel completes the crossing and forces the silver elephant to chase it, then look at the gold horse is the strongest piece in the West. So I think that 19S might have been inaccurate. I think 19S inviting the camel to cross, forcing it to cross, was for gold. So I think gold's position has improved slightly. Of course, being down by a cat and in danger of the silver small piece is taking control of F3 without the help of the silver elephant. What we're still fighting over here is, in essence, a camel hostage. So people may be more familiar with camel hostage situations than the fluid situation that we see now. And if you are familiar with the theory of camel hostages, what silver would be trying to do after having given up a camel hostage, silver would be trying to swarm the F3 trap in order to take control of F3 without the assistance of his elephant, leaving the elephant as the strongest free piece. Well, the silver camel hasn't been taken hostage yet, but that's what is strategically what we're looking at. Suppose it were taken hostage, would the silver elephant have to defend F3 or not? And so gold would like his camel to participate in that fight for control of F3, would like the camel to participate in the fight for control of F3 in order to tie the silver elephant down to F3 as well, leaving gold with the gold horse as a strong piece. So that's what's going on in the trap control fight. Now, of course, there's the sideline. Silver is in a better position than just the trap control fight would indicate, and is in a better position because of that extra rabbit creating goal threats as well.
Thing is, right now, gold is threatening to capture the horse in F3, and the only way I can see to defend against that is to, of course, yes, you would need to bring it next to the camel to unfreeze it and move it down to F4, which would, of course, mean that you'd be bringing a rabbit to where it wants to be already, which is advanced. Otherwise, you would need to replace that horse there with the elephant, but that doesn't look good at all because it would free up the camel for movement. Am I right, Fritz?
I think silver is forced to make the move that you were suggesting, unfreezing the camel. Oh, well, I was wrong. I see on 21S he used his elephant to defend the F3 trap. It must be that he is not wanting to concede his camel as a hostage, or maybe he sees that the camel will be taken hostage on H3 anyway. It doesn't want to lose a move, wants to get his horse into the F2 square. But momentarily the silver elephant is committed to F3, which is strategically not what silver wants to happen. Strategically, silver wants his elephant to be free, at least as far as the control fight goes, unless that elephant is somehow helping so much in the goal attack that it's creating serious goal threats. Really, the silver elephant needs to be able to defend the West. Gold could make an amusing move right now, just looking ahead, probably looking too far ahead. Gold could move his horse into the B6 square. Now, maybe that's looking That's what I'm looking ahead to strategically, supposing that the silver elephant is committed to defending the f3 square, supposing that the silver camel were taken hostage. Now, I'm probably putting the cart before the horse if you attack with the horse immediately here, because then a silver rabbit could come up to h4, freeing the silver camel and allowing the silver camel to retreat. So probably in this situation, gold has to take the silver camel hostage first. And obviously the two players see this very differently than I do.
Yeah, well, it's all a very sharp position. That moving of the rabbit down to h4, if Silver was going to do that, he should have done it last move. Is what I think. But I don't know. Maybe that would have gotten the camel hostage anyway on h3. Maybe I'm wrong there. But I thought that what you suggested just a minute ago was very good. Moving the horse up onto b6, because gold still has some very present dangers, some very present threats around f3, and with all the heavy pieces centered around f3, silver needs to be very careful about any gold threats in the northwest there around c6. The horse would immediately threaten a capture on the c6 trap square, and silver would need to think about defending it very, very quickly. Yeah. What's your take on the last few moves, Patrick? Sorry, I should just say on 22s, Silver has done what I thought he might. He's pushed the dog into the f3 trap and is therefore contesting control of it. And he's also gradually moving his h-file rabbit down to join Ray and also create some more threats. So again, gold is, needs the wisdom of the camel move on 22G is now seen, because now he has a chance to get that horse out of F2 where he doesn't want him to be. But yes, so Patrick, what's your impression about the way the last few moves have gone?
Well, what I wanted to say is that Silver is trying to frame the dog here with his 3 strong pieces, and that could work, since even if the camel comes in, it can't push the horse, it can only pull it, in which case the elephant is there to defend the horse from being pulled too far.
Yeah. So all I can think about right now is pulling the horse onto e2, and then maybe stepping out the dog either south to c2 or east to g3. What are the possibilities, Fritz?
Well, gold can push sideways with the dog, so that would be 4 steps. To step with the dog into the g3 square and push the silver horse into there. And that makes me think that Silver must have been thinking the whole time about retreating with the camel, because then in that position the silver horse would push the dog out to h3, and then that would unfreeze the camel and let it retreat. Otherwise, I'm not quite sure what Silver seems to be pursuing some kind of a strange mixed strategy. Does he want to free his elephant from the f3 trap or not? I would be looking for the strongest free piece in this position. I'd be looking to free the silver elephant. It looks like Silver was more interested in freeing the silver camel.
Yes, it's really interesting. Like you just said, I mean, in the chat room we're talking about the position, but we can't guess what's going on in the players' minds, and they often have a very different idea of what's going on. We've just had 23G, whereby Gold has done very little about the f3 trap, and he's moved his horse up on the A file. And of course, what I had been worried about minutes ago was that if Gold did nothing, he could end up with a frame. Of course, there's no frame